Did you know that using your voice effectively is 90% mental and 10% mechanics? We're going to talk about it. Keep watching. Today's video is brought to you by my free course, 5 Days to a More Powerful Voice. It's 5 mini voice lessons that come free to your inbox, and you can get all the details about it in the description box below. Welcome back to the Voice Love Company. I'm Christi Bovee. I'm a mindset coach and voice intuitive who helps professionals and pre-professionals get to where they ultimately want to go, their destiny. I help people find their voice and make their sound no matter who they are, no matter what they're called to do in the world. I'm starting a new series called Voice Tip Tuesday. It's around voice work specifically, and it's been a minute since we've talked about the voice here on the Voice Love Company channel. Now, I know not everybody is interested in actual voice technique, learning how to use your voice, but hear me out, because I'm going to be using your favorite artists to make my point. So you're going to need to watch very closely to see, do I mention your favorite artist? We'll have to see. Whether or not you yourself are interested in singing, I know you, and I know that you're interested in music and these elite musicians. So I'm hoping that this series helps you unpack and understand a little bit more what it takes to be an elite vocalist. It's not just ability alone. It takes strategy and plain old hard work. So I want to ask you a question. Who do you think I should be featuring on Voice Tip Tuesday? Which of your favorite vocalists is worthy of our time and attention? Leave a comment down below. I teach with a colleague who has his acting students read this book, The Inner Game of Tennis. This book talks about the mental state required to deliver peak performance and how you can cultivate it. It's not just about tennis, of course, it's about life. I have been so excited to teach with someone else who also highlights the conscious and subconscious mind as the beginning point for working in a performing arts discipline. This is what they do with elite athletes, and it's the way I've been teaching voice for years and years. And we've talked about this from the very beginning of me starting this channel. It's the reason that I've switched my branding around to leading with the fact that I'm a mindset coach, because that is what I've been doing with my clients for decades now. In my studio, we work on mindset through the voice work we do, and it is life-changing. It works in every area of your life. Every person that I have worked with in the past 31 years of coaching and teaching vocalists has had internal issues to tackle. Every single one. The takeaway? It's normal. It is so important when you start to do voice work that you start by working on your mind. Quite often the mindset work has been more important to work through, working through those internal issues first than even working through the vocal technique. In fact, when we can untangle the internal battle, the voice issues miraculously untangle themselves. Internal issues can keep the voice and the person trapped. So what internal issues am I talking about? Well, they're things that you're probably dealing with on a daily basis. I know I'm dealing with them. It's the internal issues that rob you of your confidence. The first one being negative self-talk. Our inner conversations with ourself can often be filled with criticism, self-loathing, negativity, and often downright meanness. We can talk ourselves out of using our voice before we even begin. It's crucial that you get a handle on how to talk to yourself. So that's why I give my clients, as their very first assignment, a chance to take an inventory, to take stock of their self-talk. For the next 72 hours, I want you to write down every thought that you have about yourself. It can be about your voice or not, but basically, what are the things you are saying to yourself? Physically writing it down or either putting it in a notes app on your phone actually makes it real. It really brings it forward to your attention so that it can be dealt with. It can shed a lot of light on why you're not progressing with your voice, why you can't seem to even audition or even book that first lesson with a voice coach, because you just are held back by this inner dialogue that is dogging you every single day. I love the quote by Henry Ford that says, Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Going along with your negative self-talk all day, every day can be a huge limitation to your freedom, and it's one of the very first things we must tackle in order to get you to transform. The second internal issue is this: believing lies. I see this so much in people that sadly it's normal. So many people believe that their voice is bad or not worth hearing. It is a distortion of perspective that is often shockingly unkind, thanks to a very active inner critic who is a masterful liar. You've maybe heard of body dysmorphia, where people who are thin see themselves as grossly overweight. Well, people also can have vocal dysmorphia, where they believe that their voice has no intrinsic value whatsoever. It can happen in beginners, but it can also happen in Grammy award-winning artists. Do you know how many artists cannot stand the sound of their own voices, cannot bear to go back and listen to their own work? Grammy award-winning artist Seal has actually been quoted as saying, "I never think that anything I do is great." What? Seal, have you actually heard yourself? Managed to somehow still perform at a very high level, even though he has this vocal dysmorphia. But it begs the question, what would happen if he didn't have that? What freedoms could he enjoy if he actually believed his voice had value? It's mind-boggling. Believing lies about your voice holds you back physically, mentally, emotionally from the greatness that's truly within you. You gotta crush those lies, get free from them in order to step into the next thing that you're supposed to do, in order to step into your destiny. I've seen it now in hundreds of clients. Crush the lies you believe about your abilities and watch how life expands. Another internal issue we're talking about here is a heart in lockdown. It's a person who is emotionally disconnected from their own heart. They're completely shut down from their emotions. They hold everyone and everything at arm's length. They lack authenticity in their voice work and in their performances. They would never dream of trying to access their emotions in order to make a performance better. For them, getting up on stage is hard enough without also having to take the risk of being authentic and real as an artist. But when you live at the surface level, you miss out on so much as an artist and even as an audience member and listener. I just was on a podcast with two gentlemen who only talk about one artist, Angelina Jordan from Norway, and not about her vocal skills, but about the emotional connection that they feel when they listen to her music. We talked about performances that cause us to cry when we watch them. And for these podcast interviewers, Angelina Jordan is the singer that they access deep emotion when they listen to her sing.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Angelina has a unique ability to tap into her own heart as she's bringing music forward. And if you're interested in hearing this podcast interview I did, which it was a fascinating conversation, I'll leave a link for it in the description box below. It is important that you start to be willing to approach your voice work with an open heart, a willingness to take risks, to be a little messy with it. If you feel tears come when you're doing voice work, and it often happens in sessions with me and a client, let the tears come. Tears are messy, but tears heal, and messy is beautiful. Another internal issue that we can be dealing with is fear. Fear can rear its ugly head in the life of a vocalist in multiple ways, from panic attacks to laryngitis the morning of an important performance. Again, this is so normal. I'm not making light of fear, but you have to know this is so normal. I mean, people fear public speaking more than they fear dying. That is scientifically proven. Using your voice is one of the most intimate things you can do as a human being, and people are afraid to step into their power and their authority by using their voice. One of the reasons I think this is so is because it's so painfully us. We're raw, we're exposed, we're naked. There's nothing we can hide behind, and that's what makes sharing your voice so weighty. Again, this is not about voice work. Ultimately, it's about doing the inner you work. Every single one of us needs to face fear. Every single one. Even the people you think have got it all together, they have fears too. Facing the inner fear issue in real time, right as it comes up, can not only free your voice, it can literally transform your life. There are many internal issues, but another one I want to mention is perfectionism. As a studio musician, I was paid every day to walk into the studio and be perfect, to read down the chart, to do it exactly as the producer was asking me, and to do it in the shortest amount of time as possible. And I think all of us as professional musicians can say we work really hard to give as close to perfect performance as possible. But the fact of the matter is, we're human. We make mistakes. It's impossible to do things perfectly. It's important to approach your voice work with a sense of flexibility and flow. Have your mantra be accept and allow as you go through the process, because I promise you, if you can let go of this perfectionism and just let yourself flow, you're going to get better faster, and that's ultimately the goal. And again, it's about allowing yourself to get messy. And I understand it's hard to do when your adrenaline is pumping and you're requiring perfection of yourself. You're under pressure to perform, but you have to allow yourself. Think accept and allow, accept and allow. There are many other internal issues that can come up when we start to do voice work, from jerk teachers who spoke words over us that caused us to shut down, to stage fright that sends us into the bathroom to throw up before we go on stage, to feeling unsafe because we've been in situations and circumstances where our trust has been broken. The important thing is to stay awake and open. Be willing to identify these issues as they pop up, and don't be hard on yourself if you are facing more than one. Some things that you can do to get past these internal issues are get help. Get a coach that you can really trust to help navigate you through this inner game of voice work. You may even need to pursue a little therapy or counseling in addition to the technical voice work. And it's probably good to find somebody who does trauma-informed healing. This is not a process that should be done independently with you and a YouTube video. Sometimes it helps to have someone there to bear witness to your journey, to help you be kind to yourself, and to help you see that you are progressing. The second thing you can do is use your voice. It may feel counterintuitive as you're leaning into these inner issues to actually get out and use your voice, to sing, to speak, to act, to get up and teach a class or get on a conference call and lead the discussion. But actually, this is something I tell my clients over and over again. Put yourself in the situation where you're allowed to lean up against that feeling of fear and discomfort. When you put yourself into the situation where the internal issue comes up so you can face it head on, you end up moving past it. So if you're scared of public speaking, join a Toastmasters group in your area. Sing at your local karaoke night. Audition for the community theater group. Volunteer to be the spokesperson at the school board meeting this month. You will not believe how much it helps you to push yourself to do the things that scare you the most. And the final thing I would recommend is be brave. One of the best things about my job is that I get to be on the front row of people's transformation. As they get free from the things that imprison them mentally, emotionally, and physically, an amazing thing happens. Their voice blossoms. Be strong and very courageous. Your brain is just trying to keep you safe. You've got to keep reminding it that you are safe, that what you're trying to do is even fun. Do the bravest thing you can do and train your mind to help you break through the limitations that are keeping your story small. You have absolutely got what it takes. You know, these inner limitations are not just around voice work, they're actually around life. And if any of this resonated with you today, leave me a comment down below, just a yes, and I will know that I have hit my target. Also, if I can do anything to help you personally with what you're going through right now, book a free discovery call with me. The link is in the description box below. Like if you like this video, and be sure to share with somebody you know needs to hear this message. Keep finding your voice. Keep making your sound in the world today. The world is waiting for what you and only you bring. And remember, you are loved. Bye-bye.